Spider-Man wasn't Peter Parker at all, but a trench-coated detective named Ben Reilly stalking 1930s New York as the Spider. Yeah, buckle up.
All right, let's get into it. I'm Emma, your pop culture chaos coordinator, and I am in such a curious mood today because this next show is a total vibe and a little bit of a dare.
So let's talk Spider-Noir. It's an American superhero noir series in Sony's Spider-Man universe. Think alternate universe, rain alleys, smoky clubs, and a hero who hates being called a hero. Our guy is Ben Reilly, not Peter Parker. In universe, they call him the Spider. He's a private investigator in 1930s New York. The show blends hard-boiled detective tropes with superpowered intrigue. It dropped in 2026 on MGM Plus in the US South, and then on Prime Video worldwide. 8 episodes, and the reviews were like, "Nicolas Cage, you beautiful cryptid, we salute you."
Let me set the scene. A few years back, I got lost trying to find this vintage film festival downtown. My phone died because obviously, and I'm wandering through these shadowy side streets that smelled like rain and cigarettes. Very cosplay, zero safety. I duck into this old cinema with a flickering marquee, thinking it's a shortcut, and honey, I stumble into a secret noir marathon. The third man in a lonely place, the works, was like the universe said, sit down and learn contrast. Meanwhile, I'm panicking about missing the festival's big Q&A. Shoes hurting, mascara melting, total hot mess. But then the lights go down, the shadows get long, and I'm hooked. I left at 2 a.m., happily ruined for glossy blockbusters. Sometimes getting lost is exactly how you find the good stuff. And that's Spider-Noir. Familiar spider myth, turned sideways, slipped into a fedora, and lit like sin. Okay, let's unwrap the basics. Spider-Noir lives in its own slice of Sony's Spider-Man universe. Ben Reilly is the Spider, an aging PI who used to be the city's only masked Avenger. Think Raymond Chandler plot that someone might turn into sand mid-interrogation. The twist I love, in-universe his origin rewinds to World War I. He served as Sergeant Peter Parker, gets bitten by this nightmare creature called Man-Spider during a POW rescue, and after the war he changes his name to Ben Reilly. Trauma, reinvention, Mescon, it's Noir catnip.
The vibes are precise. The team actually shot with black and white cameras and filters to make those long shadows pop. Then they finished 2 versions, authentic black and white and a hyper-saturated true hue full color. True hue is like Technicolor dialed to flirt. Nicolas Cage even compared it to Edward Hopper's Nighthawks. Esquire's Anthony Bresnikan, he's a film journalist, said black and white feels like existential dread while color reads like a Dick Tracy caper. 2 moods, same show. I love a choose your poison release. Now, the people behind the curtain. Oren Uziel is a co-showrunner and developer, a noir superfan who helped shape the Pulp Plus Powers blend. Steve Lightfoot is the other co-showrunner. He ran The Punisher in the late 1910s, so he knows morally messy protagonists. Together, they lean into a hero who's more cigarette burn than spandex shine. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the duo behind Into the Spider-Verse, also developed it. Creative godfathers with a knack for bending canon without breaking it. Amy Pascal, longtime Spider producer, is in the mix too. That's the institutional memory. Harry Bradbeer, he's a director and EP who set the tone in the first 2 episodes. It's the classy table setting. Singa Stewart also directed. She keeps the period texture alive mid-season. Darren Tiernan is the cinematographer. All negative fill and sculpted faces. Yes, chef. Trace Field on costumes, threads, fedoras, trench coats, and nightclub gowns so they slay in both black and white in the candy pop of color. Production designer Warren Allen Young builds 1930s New York on LA stages. It's smoke, signage, and shadow, the kind of craft you feel even when you don't notice it. Music heads, you're fed. Chris Bowers and Michael Dean Parsons composed the score. It's noir orchestra meets jazz tension. There's a lead single called Saving Grace by Oak Felder and Sebastian Coley, performed by Kirby, smoky, yearning, very kiss me then stab me energy. And yes, there's a full soundtrack drop, perfect for walking dramatically through a parking garage while texting your ex. Not me, but me. Casting, Nicolas Cage headlines as Ben Reilly, and plot twist, it's his first time leading a TV series. He's channeling like 70% Humphrey Bogart, cool under pressure, dagger eyes, and 30% Bugs Bunny, timing, antic switch-ups. He also cites James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson. You hear it in the patter. The show even explains why he talks the way he talks. It's not just cosplay of old movies. It's trauma, disguise, and intent. It's giving haunted wisecrack, which is a very specific kink of mine, just saying.
The ensemble is stacked. Lamar Morris plays Joe Robinson, an optimistic reporter who keeps poking at Ben's cynicism. Legion Lee is Felicia Cat Hardy, a nightclub singer and absolute femme fatale, love interest to both Ben and Flip Marco. The triangle is smokier than our eyeliner. Jack Huston is Sandman, Abraham Popola's Tombstone. Both are literally being killed by their own powers. Body horror meets morality play. Brendan Gleeson is Silverman, an Irish mob boss tied to Ben's past. Philosopher Predator Energy. Karen Rodriguez is Janet Ruiz, Ben's secretary and co-investigator. Think dependable conscience who side-eyes him back into action.
Social stakes, the show makes power a curse. Tombstone and Sandman are decaying from the inside. It's a savage rebuttal to the usual super wish fulfillment. And the branding choice, calling him the Spider, not Spider-Noir in universe, that's a flex. It aligns him with Pope-era vigilantes like the Shadow, whispered menace more than #hero. Marketing even flips the classic creed with no power comes no responsibility. It's a drag of a match on the franchise's floorboards, sparks everywhere. Okay, pause, because this next part is everything. There was reporting in 2024 from Puck's Leslie Goldberg saying Sony might not renew its overall deal with Phil Lord and Chris Miller due to a budget disagreement on this very show. Emphasis on reported, not confirmed, but the discourse was loud. My take? High-concept TV needs creative air, not just cash, but also money as oxygen. If you want two bespoke visual pipelines, black and white and true hue, plus period sets, metahuman effects, and Nicolas Cage, you're not getting that on a clearance rack. Studios love IP, but then they panic when IP asks for a tuxedo instead of a t-shirt. To me, Spider-Noir justifies the spend because it differentiates. In a superhero market that's a show that literally changes your mood depending on which version you watch is smart brand warfare. Also, Uziel floated the idea of exploring World War II for a potential season 2. The PI format can travel, new case, new city, same damage compass. That's an expandable chassis, and that's what you invest in. And speaking of continuity, let's talk fandom glue. Cage previously voiced Spider-Man Noir in Into the Spider-Verse back in 2018. Different universe, yes, but the persona crossover matters. Audiences already buy him as the guy who monologues like a cigarette with feelings. Here, live action and close-ups turn that into something wounded and weirdly tender. It's continuity of vibe, not canon, and honestly, that's enough to make people press play. Also love that Alamo Drafthouse, the indie theater chain, ran a Web of Shadow series, screenings of classic noir like Kiss Me Deadly and Sweet Smell of Success to tee this up. That's how you court the cinephiles and the TikTok crowd in one stroke. Come for the chiaroscuro selfies, stay for the existential dread. Marketing, but make it film school. If you're wondering where to start, black and white for Moral Abyss, color for comic strip fever dream. Try both, tell me which one makes Cat Hardy more dangerous. Low-key it's the same performance, but the palette changes your pulse. That's the magic trick. Same scenes, different truth. Okay, we covered a lot. Next time I'm diving into how noir evolved on modern streamers, from prestige gloom to pulp pop, and why your favorite breakup shows all look like they were lit by a Venetian blind.
So that's the tea, folks. Embrace the shadows to find the light, watch Spider-Noir with the lights low and the volume high, and stay curious, honey. Later!